Hello everyone, and welcome to Just the Tip of the PS5, where I will be doing a little bit of an unboxing video, and then giving you guys a brief tour of the PlayStation 5 UI, once I've done all my setup and all that boring stuff that no one wants to see. So as you can see, the PS5 is quite large. The box itself is almost as long as my forearm and my hand, and I have quite long arms. So, yeah, definitely a big box. It feels heavy, but not significantly heavier than the last gen consoles, if my memory serves me well, which it probably doesn't. But I guess we'll see. Let's get this thing underway. Okay. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna put this down, and I'm just gonna pull this stuff out. This will be the easiest way to go about it, I think. Let's see, what do we got in here? We got some cables. What cables do we have? We have a power cable. Very important. And in here, we have... Ooh! I didn't realize it was going to be this soon, but... got fucking packaging. Damn it. Alright. DualSense controller. Get that packaging out of here. It feels nice. First impression, like without any of the haptic feedback or any of the adaptive triggers firing, this is a nice feeling controller. It kind of splits the difference. I thought I might have a PlayStation 4 controller in hand, but I do not, which is a rarity. It kind of splits the difference between the size and heft of an Xbox controller and just the nice buttons of a PlayStation controller. Everything feels really good. I will say, I like the D-pad. It feels a little more pronounced than the PS4 one. I could be wrong on that. The buttons feel a little less pronounced though, and we'll see how I feel about that when I'm actually playing a game. But so far, this is a very, very nice game. I know people were saying that the little texture on the back of the controller is made up of tiny little PlayStation symbols, but my eyes are so bad that I can only barely make that out. But if you guys want a slightly closer look at that, there is that controller. It is quite nice. Quite nice. I think for people who have a problem with the size of the DualShock, that's going to be a nice middle ground for those people. What else have we got in here? Cables. HDMI 2.0, I think. USB. That box. Oh, what's this? What is this? This is the stand. This is the stand for the PlayStation 5, which it requires horizontal or vertical. Obviously, horizontal, I believe these parts clip into the back of it, and it just sort of sits on the base, which I'm not sure I trust that setup too much. I'm probably going to have a vertical, so it'll slot in here, and I believe there is a little screw in there to secure it in place. So that's cool. I'll be setting that up off camera so I don't make a fool of myself. And here is the main event itself. Alright. How am I going to do this? Okay. Got my both my feet latched either side of it. Alright. Fucking phone. Okay. Uno momento. This thing is quite heavy. Okay. It's out of the thing. It's out of the foam at least. And we got this. Fuck me. How is that even wrapped around there? There we go. Shoo! This is big. Like, the box itself is quite big, but it doesn't really communicate just how big the console itself is. Like, look how big it is compared to my massive head. That is huge. I do like the look of it, though. I didn't realize that this was actually, like, cut out. I thought this was just sort of a symbol that was painted on. But that's actually cut out. That's very cool. I love the shape of it, but obviously, you can't really sit it horizontally, because it will... It's gonna wobble. You could, I suppose, if you really didn't want to use the stand, you could sit it like this, and it sits pretty firmly. But one good knock, and that's going to topple over. So, ladies and gentlemen, use your stands, is all I'm going to say. So that is it for the actual unboxing of the thing. This is all that I've got. Well, I've got some games as well, but they're not in the actual box itself. So, I'm going to fit the stand, I'm going to get my account settings and my save data done, and I will see you in the PlayStation 5 UI to give you a little tour. We'll see you soon. Hello everyone, and welcome to just the tip of the PlayStation 5. It's me, I'm using this controller. So, we've just unboxed the PS5, I've plugged it in, I've done all my settings and my user updates, and we're just going to take a look around the UI and, give you folks at home a good look at it before you go out and buy one. Let's take a look at this thing. So, as you can see, I've got some games already installed, or they're already downloading, on this nice, clean little game bar up in the top left. You get some massive splash art covering the entire screen, which I like quite a lot. I think it's very charming, and I also missed having a game's soundtrack play when you floated over their icon for a little bit, so it's nice to see that it's making a return for some games. Doesn't seem like every game, though. Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like every game. I know Astro's Playroom has one, which we will take a look at in another video. But for now, yeah, this is the UI. It's very clean, very crisp. I love the look of it. I also like how everything's sort of laid out. All your game stuff is in this tab. If you're the type who likes to watch your streaming services, you've got access to those in the media tab. But some of the coolest stuff that PlayStation 5 does are in its settings. And I haven't had a huge play around with this, but the stuff that I've seen looks pretty cool. Accessibility is always a thing that I'm looking out for in games. So it's nice to see that you've got some of these settings in the actual console at a system level as well. Stuff like inverted colors, color correction, text size. You can go massive text, which is super cool for those of us who have really, really bad eyes. You can make it bold if that's easier to read. I think these are all very, very cool options. And the PS5, from what I've seen so far, is just full of those little things. Like, you can change the vibration intensity and the trigger effect intensity, as we'll see a little bit later with Astro's Playroom. The vibration and the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers are quite a large part of the PS5, or at least, in theory, they should be a large part of the PS5. We've got, let's see, are they into system settings? No, that's not what I'm looking for. You've got all your basic normal stuff that you've had on the PS4, and for PS4 users, this is going to look very, very familiar. But let's look in this. Controllers. Here we go. So you can change your vibration intensity, trigger intensity. The brightness, I'm going to change that to probably medium, because I don't really need my controller lighting up all that much. And, you want to save a little bit of power where you can. The battery life, from what I've heard on the DualSense, is about the same as the DualShock 4, which, in my experience, hasn't been bad, but I know other people have had some terrible experiences with it. Now, game app settings is what I want. Game presets, this is what I was trying to find. You can now set, by default, at a system level, the difficulty settings for games, whether it defaults to performance or resolution mode, your settings for first-person and third-person cameras, so inverted settings, subtitles and audio. You know that thing where if you're looking through a game's options and you're like, okay, I need to turn subtitles on. Where are they? Are they in the audio? Are they in the video? Are they in language settings? Or are they in game settings? Now you don't have to worry about that. Assuming developers don't opt out to this, you should be able to find, or you shouldn't have to worry about it. You can just say, display subtitles, on. And my assumption would be is that you can change that once you go into a game later on, and, fine-tune that on a case-by-case basis. But if you want to, you can just have it be the game default and just leave it at that, which is really cool. You can also have certain media, such as screenshots or videos posted by friends, or even I'm led to believe, marketing material, you can have it marked with spoilers. So if a game's developers think that a certain piece of material, whether that be like a trailer or something that a player has put up, is potentially spoilery, they can flag that, and you don't have to have seen it. Which is cool. I really, really like that. It's just got a whole lot of cool stuff. One of the big problems I'm seeing with it so far, and I have only had the console for about an hour and a bit, is that it doesn't have the most storage in the world. Let's have a look at my current console storage, and you'll see what I mean. I have about 413 gig left of free space, and what that actually means is I only have these games installed. It's not a huge amount. On top of that, PS4 games, so Hollow Knight, Bloodborne, Monster Hunter World, and Crash Bandicoot 4, you could, in theory, install them on an external hard drive, or an external SSD, and play them from there. PS5 games, however, you are not able to do that. You can't cold store them on an external drive, which is a little bit unfortunate. But supposedly, Sony might be looking into fixing that. Who knows? That said, at the end of the day, I'm not sure it's that huge of a problem. It really depends on how big games are. If everything is roughly the same size as Miles Morales, that's not too bad. That's kind of the upper limit. Monster Hunter World is obviously a very big game, and is an outlier. But if everything's kind of sitting around the 40 gig range, you could fit a fair amount of games on here, and it wouldn't be too much of an issue. Plus, everything I've downloaded on the PlayStation so far has downloaded rather quickly, and it's not like I have the best internet, because I assure you, we do not in Australia. At least I don't. So, going along here, if I press the PlayStation button once, and not hold it, because if you hold it, the game's like, no, this doesn't do anything. But if you press it once, you bring up this little, it looks like a cross-media bar, almost, where you can go into your notifications. It says, oh, Hollow Knight's ready to play. Bugsnax is ready to play. I got a message from Aaron from Total Badness, who also got his PlayStation 5. These are all cool things, but I've got my notifications turned off, because they just tend to pop up in the middle of recordings and annoy the hell out of me. Let's check out GameBase. Aaron's playing Drive Club. Of fucking course he's playing Drive Club. God damn it. My friends are playing stuff. Astro's Playroom seems like a pretty popular one, and I think that'll be the first thing I play. We've got our downloads, and like I said, they seem to be downloading fairly quickly. I mean, 30-ish gig in about an hour. That's pretty good for my internet speeds, to be entirely honest. What else have we got in here? Sound, mic, accessories, all that usual stuff. Now, if I want to look at my trophies, let's see my trophies. They're all listed top to bottom like this. There's my Ghost of Tsushima. Hell yeah. So, these are now set up horizontally instead of vertically, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. My assumption would be that PS5 trophies are going to have a little more art on the card side of them. Or they're just like this so they can facilitate the activities and cards that you will get in other games. So I'm not sure if I actually have any of those up yet, but let's have a look at Bugsnax. Have we got anything? We haven't got anything on there yet. Do we have anything on Astro's Playroom? There's an activity. So that tells us, get your first trophy piece, that's cool. Once I've started the game, I believe it should start to populate this area with activities like different trophies and different mini objectives within the game. And I should, in theory, be able to start the game, boot straight to those areas, which, in theory, sounds very, very cool. This is all theoretical at this point, because I have not touched a lot of this. What I will say is that the backwards compatibility on this is working pretty well. I booted this up for a very short amount of time just to see what load times are like, and, we'll jump into it real quick, because otherwise I don't have a huge amount to show off. It is very much a case of the PlayStation 5 UI is very nice looking. It is very much like the PS4 one in terms of function. I like it. I think there's room to grow, certainly. But I know where everything is. I haven't been confused trying to get to anything. It's just been a very, solid, dependable time, which I like a lot. The thing that has actually gotten me kind of excited, though, is when I popped this in while I was waiting for some stuff to download. And the game actually loads pretty quickly. I didn't mention this in my review because it wasn't really that much of an issue at the time. But as soon as you start going back into Crash 4 and start doing perfect runs, and you gotta restart levels manually a lot, those load screens add up. Now, just to give you an idea, let's go find a level that I know has a rather long load time. I'm not sure if they're all the same, but let's go find one that I know had a long load time in the original, in the PS4 version of the game. Now, there aren't any visual upgrades to this as far as I can tell. It's still running smooth, it's still looking as good as it did. But let's go into this level, and I think it should average out to about 20 seconds load time, maybe less. And I know that these load screens in the PS4 Pro took about 50 seconds. The load times, I'm saying, are effectively cut in half. And it's not just loads into the level initially. It's not just those initial loads, it's also restarting. And that's that SSD at work, which is very cool. Also worth noting right now that the D-pad's real good. I like this D-pad a lot. I'm one of those guys who plays Crash Bandicoot 4 on the D-pad because I played the original Crash games on the D-pad. But yeah, so let's see that restart level. Let's see how quick that is. Now, it's probably not as quick as you might be expecting, because the game obviously is not optimized for PS5. This is just the SSD speed doing everything it can to sort of streamline everything. If games get specific patches to make these games run better, then no doubt in my mind that these could be completely non-existent loading screens, which is super cool. But I'm really excited about that. So if we press the button, we've got our activities. Hey, look, it's trophies. Here's some trophies. And it doesn't say for these ones how close you are to getting them, I don't believe. No, but in theory, and again, in theory, the PS5 ones should give you some sort of idea as to how close you are to getting certain trophies. But yeah, you press the PlayStation button, this little cross-media bar comes up, you can check your downloads, you can do all that. Let's go back to my game pace. Oh, Aaron's playing Miles Morales. And then you hold it, and you go back to this home screen where you can close out your game, which is really cool. I really, really like this so far. I haven't actually played any PS5 games on it, but I will be soon enough. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this unboxing / quick look at just the tip of the PlayStation 5, the UI and physical accoutrements. Yeah, there's not much left to say. I really do like it. Be sure to check back. We're going to have some PS5 coverage coming up with Astro's Playroom and Bug Snacks and Spider-Man Miles Morales and Demon Souls and Sackboy's Big Adventure. And I'm looking forward to it. But thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.